Hey folks, welcome back. Chris in Central Pennsylvania. The sad obsession of South Africa's media with the phrase white genocide or term white genocide shines through yet again in a comical non-news story published as news on where else but the toilet paper record, The Independent Online, that runs a story today talking about how an American pastor who knows nothing about South Africa and has never been to South Africa to my knowledge is suddenly the expert on the term white genocide. Now, the media's obsession with this is comical. Pastor Mark Burns, an evangelical leader who once worked at McDonald's and then founded a church and became a televangelist, to my knowledge, has never been to South Africa. But he's visiting South Africa, and he firmly refuted claims of a white genocide, asserting that such allegations are not backed by the realities on the ground. Really? And how exactly do you come to this conclusion? I'm not claiming there's a white genocide. But what's the purpose of this story? What does Pastor Mark Burns know about South Africa? He said there's no white genocide happening here. He said they were generally surprised that this claim even made it to the international stage. Interesting. After he met with white farmers, business owners, and former apartheid-era leaders, all elites trotted out to impress the pastor. Now, his comments, according to Independent Online, come in the wake of statements by President Trump, who during a 21 May Oval Office, President Trump alleged the white farmers are victims of systemic killings. Aha! Now, thank you for finally getting it correct. Systemic killings. He never claimed white genocide, so why are you using the phrase white genocide? Trump didn't say white genocide. In that White House Oval Office meeting, President Trump was set up twice, and he handled it with aplomb. First off, with a rude, disrespectful Ramaphosa interrupting him and saying, I'll take this question. And then the second time when he's asked directly if he believed there was a white genocide in South Africa, Donald Trump's response wasn't, yes, there's a white genocide. He never said that. He said, I'm not convinced. So why are you obsessed with reporting about a white genocide? Because you're trying to diminish the sufferings of South Africans who've been tortured, dismembered, raped, and brutally murdered on South Africa's farms because it doesn't suit your narrative. Shame on you, Independent Online. This isn't news. And Pastor Burns, shame on you. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You don't know jack squat about South Africa. It isn't a white genocide. It's systemic racial oppression. And white folks are being targeted for various reasons. And to deny that is immoral. And Pastor Burns doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Burns claims that while songs like Kill the Boer are divisive and contribute to racial tensions, the broader issue is the country's high crime rate, which affects all communities. Unemployment is crushing and poverty is driving violent crime in all communities. Well, Pastor Burns, you're an idiot. Poverty doesn't drive violent crime. That's a lie. Violent criminals are criminals because they're criminals. Poor people aren't violent. Poor people don't steal unless they're starving. Another idiot. And this person is in Trump's inner circle. That makes him a little bit nervous. Pastor Burns doesn't know anything about what he's talking about. If he honestly thinks that poverty is driven, or crime is driven by poverty, he's not a very bright individual. And he's obviously never been poor. Because if he was poor, then I guess Pastor Burns must be a criminal. He must have been driven to violent crime because of his poverty. What a crock of nonsense. Typical nonsensical elites who don't know what life is like on the ground, who've never scratched to survive. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And clearly he drank the Kool-Aid that he's been served by South African elites. High crime rate is what the broader issue. That is not the issue. Racial discrimination is the issue, which leads to poverty, which causes poverty in all South Africans, black, white, and brown. Forcing someone to give their equity to someone that doesn't have any business acumen, who destroys their business, doesn't help anyone. And you force them to do that because the person is black, so they get it for free. How does that uplift anybody? It doesn't. And denying people who are entrepreneurs an opportunity to build a business because of your racist laws. And condom-wearing Dan Corder went on Piers Morgan and told the biggest fairy tale ever. Well, they failed to tell you that these are actually racist laws when they're ableist laws, and they're also... Okay, Dan, 80% of the population isn't disabled. 80% of the population isn't women. And women come in black and white stripes and brown stripes. But when you include race exclusively and 80% of the population is black, you exclude people from 80% participation, it's racist. Pastor Burns doesn't know what he's talking about. Hardly a surprise. And of course, they trot him out as a willing, witless accomplice in the cover-up that's going on in South Africa, lying about what's happening there. pretending that white people are not racially oppressed, that Indians are not racially oppressed, that colors are not racially oppressed. Total nonsense. Total nonsense. And Pastor Mark Burns should be ashamed of himself. When he gets to the pearly gates, St. Peter's going to ask him why he was so stupid. And I hope he has a good answer, as people are systemically eliminated from economic participation, from education, from society in South Africa by racist laws meant to harm them in a racial revenge campaign. Shame on you, Pastor Mark Burns. Shame on you.